excessive commercialism, practices like paywall and misappropriate videos and news releases and reporting are really the outcome of commercialism, where they don't want to put real news on. Instead, they'd rather have a corporate VNR, slap that on, save the money of putting a reporter on the beat, going out to the local community. That's not what they're supposed to do. The reason they do that is because 20% return is not enough for Wall Street. They've got to get 22% or 23%. So what goes first? Where can they cut? They cut staff, they cut news reporters, and that is not what they're supposed to do. A little bit has to come back to us, the public. Now, diversity is why we're here. This is a great community to talk about it. The FCC has traditionally tried to make sure that there's a variety of viewpoints expressed, but it seems in recent years that we've just given up. There are only 4.2% of radio stations and 1.5% of TV stations by all minorities, including Latino. And women ownership is disgraceful as well, 4.3% in 2001, and even less in 2003. Now, as we all know, they make up more than half the population, so that number doesn't quite work. So here we have these terrible numbers. We know it going into the media ownership debate in 2003, and what does the Commission do? It doesn't even acknowledge all of the comments and complaints that we got in the record back then on the disappointing state of minority media ownership. As a matter of fact, what the majority of the FCC did over my dissent and objection, Commissioner Kopp's objection, was to get rid of the only policy that was specifically aimed at fostering minority ownership. Incredible. This was under Chairman Michael Kopp. You know, these numbers are really important because studies have shown that stations that are owned by Latinos and other minorities provide programming that's more suitable to the needs of those communities. They're more likely to present racially diverse programming and focus on the community. Thank God for the Third Circuit, which found that we violated our obligation to make broadcast stations available, and this is language from the decision, without discrimination on the basis of race. What an embarrassment to the Commission to have a court tell us this, and not to know ourselves. Court's admonishment is a reminder that we need to promote this, not to undercut the ownership of outlets by women and minorities. Not because the Third Circuit and the court scolded us, but because it's just the right thing to do. We've got to make our media reflective of this country. And it's not just ownership, which is abysmal, but it's employment. Well, Latinos and other minorities make up a third of the population, and there are only a handful of journalists. 10% of those, for example, cover the White House and the President. Only 13% of daily newspaper staffs. It's also about representation on TV. A vast representation of minorities on the airwaves. And our job is laid out. You know, we've got to fight for diversity. We can't allow this to stand. We need to move in the other direction. We need to have better coverage. We need to promote localism. We need to promote diversity. We need to promote competition. And the way to do that isn't to allow one owner to control the local newspaper, 3 television stations in a community, the cable system, the internet outlets, and 8 radio stations all in one community. But that is what the majority voted for in 2003. And that's what we need to see again if we don't get organized, have it failed in all 3 areas, and make sure that this time we get it right, that we promote. Everybody has to demand that there's a process that allows you to comment on specific proposals. That there's ownership rules that are dealt with in a comprehensive manner. We can't have them splitting them off and doing them peacefully, thinking they can divide and conquer. This time I'm hoping we hear from more than 3 million people. Everybody here needs to get as many people as they can to let us know how you truly feel. Because this is about the uninhibited marketplace of ideas. This is about freedom in this country. This is about democracy in this country. It's about free expression in this country. It's about the arts and culture of this community, and every community across the country that has something to contribute